Hello lovelies, welcome to the channel. So today I'm playing with my gel plate, and basically I had it out because this is one of my youngest son's favourite things to play with in the art room. He absolutely loves making gel prints, and after we were done, I left it out and I thought, oh, maybe I'll use the gel plate because I had a card in mind. Yes, I'm making a card, shock horror. But on Facebook, there is a Darkroom Door page. Darkroom Door is, they make stamps and stencils and things, really cool mixed media stuff. And they have a Facebook group, and they do a monthly challenge. And this is based on a mood board with these colours, the teal and the purple. And I had an idea that I really wanted to do for it using the polka dot stencil in the background. And so I thought I'd give it a try, and I thought it would be really good to give it a go with my gel plate. So that was the original pull that I made. I thought, oh, that looks good. But then, because you can't stop at one when you have a gel plate out, can you? If you can, you're lying. I find when I get my gel plate, my paints and my stencils and everything out, I can do this for hours. It is so addictive. And the good thing is, when you play around a bit, you can get lots of different effects. So I'm starting with, different gradients of paint. So I've got a purple and I've added some white because I liked the ombre effect that I was getting. And I'm pulling that print up to start as my background. And then I'm going back with my stencil to give me the effect of the stencil on it. Now, the first time I did it, I put my paper down and pulled up the inside of the stencil. But what I wanted was basically the negative of the stencil. And you see how I'm about to achieve that. So I'm inking up my gel plate again. These are two very slightly different types of teal-ish. When they're on the plate, they look very similar. So I'm going to put my stencil back down, but I'm going to make sure, first I'm going to pull up the inside of this stencil. But what I'm really doing is I'm making sure that my stencil itself has a lot of paint on it when I pull it up. So now I'm going to move my gel plate. It's going to make sense. See all that paint I have? Now in my art journal, I do this method a lot because nothing goes to waste. But in this instance, I really wanted this pattern. I wanted the pattern of my stencil itself, not the negative in between, or the positive, or whatever you want to call it. I wanted this look here of the stencil itself, and that's how I achieved it. So the rest of the paint that was actually on the stencil itself, I basically used that as a stamp onto my background to give me the look that I wanted, and I was really, really happy with how well it worked. So by using the gel plate, I was able to make sure that the stencil actually had an even texture of paint on it. So if you want to do this technique, I do it with inks a lot. I spray my stencil with ink on my page, and then so the ink has gone through my stencil, but it leaves me with a lot of ink on my stencil. So instead of cleaning that off with a wet one or paper towel, I then turn my stamp over, flip it down, and I turn my stencil over and use it as a stamp. So that way I'm using up all that ink. And so I've just taken that technique one step further in this one, just to give me that background, with that stencil. So now I'm just going to put my card together. I haven't made a card and I couldn't tell you how long. But for this project, it sort of worked. And I've recently been talking to a friend of mine in Melbourne, and she lives in Melbourne, and we were talking about, how we don't get anything in the mail anymore. So I thought I would send her a card. I actually made a postcard as well that I have a video for, and I'll show you that one. So I just thought I might start sending little postcards and things, and I'm rediscovering some of my stamps. So the goal, I'm thinking I might make a few more cards. I actually bought some card bases, as you can see. So what I'm doing here is I'm just I'm matting this onto sort of like a teal background. So I've got my background piece, and then I'm going to mount it and then apply it to the white card. My trimmer blade is very, very blunt, so that's why I have the file happening there. I need a new blade. I need a new blade for this, and I need a new blade for my cameo. And then I'm good. But so I just file the edges down until I can be not lazy and go get a new blade. So I'm just going to attach this to my background, basically to my card mat. So I'm using a piece of coloured cardstock just to make this one that goes with the background. Like I said, it's been a long time since I've made a card. I'm more of a an art journal background kind of gal, but yeah, for this, I really like how this turned out. So with this challenge, with the Darkroom Door challenge, they challenge you to use the mood board but also use their products. So I've got out my the background stencil is a Darkroom Door stencil, but I've also got this stamp, and this stamp reminded me of my friend that I'm sending this to, which is why I picked it. This is the first time in a long time I've actually gotten out my my stamping tool, but mostly because, one, I had a feeling my ink pad's not the best, so I knew I was going to have to ink it up twice, and this makes it very easy. I was aiming to have my quote in the bottom right hand corner, but I stamped it upside down, so it ends up being my top left corner. But yeah, this is why it's good to have the stamping tool, obviously, because I knew I would need to stamp it a few times to get a really crisp, dark image, which I would need to be able to be seen on my background. Looking at it now, maybe I could have even heat embossed it. See, these are things that I just don't do. I haven't done it in a long time. I use my heat gun to dry paint. I don't think I've actually used it to emboss in probably years. But yeah, it's every now and then it's really good to discover some of your old techniques and things. So I think I might get out, my embossing powders, and yes, I have them, and maybe, start embossing some things. But anyway, so yes, because I had all that empty space, I wanted to do something a bit more. So I got out one of my star stamp sets. I love stars. Stars are my thing. And I'm just stamping that in a few areas on the card, just to give it some more interest, and so it didn't look like I had this big empty space down here. And then I'm mounting it to my card base, which was just a plain old white card base. And you think I'm done, but I'm not. I'm almost done. But look how good I'm getting at using old products again. This is actually a shimmer pen from Color Blast. I don't know when the last time was I used this either, but it seemed kind of perfect to use it to add a bit of glimmer on my pretty stars. And then I was watching a video recently, and yeah, the person I was watching used it to sort of, whack and add some pretty sparkles everywhere. So I thought, why not do that too? And that is my end result. I have made a pretty card that I actually like, and I'm looking forward to sending it. So thanks for watching, and I'll be back real soon with a new video. Bye for now.